Good evening. We're still in the middle of an air assault on Libya, really the third front the U.S. is fighting on these days. It was launched by President Obama to protect civilians, he said, because Gaddafi's forces were bearing down on the rebels' headquarters city of Benghazi. But all those cruise missiles and bombs still haven't stopped the ground fighting. The rebels were under heavy fire today, about 100 miles to the south of Benghazi. And as you're about to see, our own chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engel, was with them and got about as close as you'd ever want to. Richard is back safely in Benghazi tonight and is with us from there tonight. Richard, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. The rebels have the will, they have the numbers, but they don't have the equipment or the discipline to take on Gaddafi's forces where they're dug in, as we saw for ourselves firsthand today.
The road outside Benghazi today is a graveyard of Gaddafi's armored vehicles destroyed by Western airstrikes. After an hour and a half driving south, flanked by desert, we reach the rebels' front line. There are no trenches or sandbags, just men poorly armed who want to fight. The front line is about 5 miles outside the town of Ajdabia. Smoke can be seen rising from Ajdabia in the distance. Gaddafi still has tanks and artillery in the town. The rebels watch with binoculars but can't advance. Outgunned, the rebels say they're killed whenever they approach Gaddafi's forces. We have light weapons. He has tanks, complained one man. Another rebel showed me he isn't actually armed at all.
It's a toy gun. This is amazing. He just handed me his gun. I didn't realize until he put it in my hands. It's actually just made of plastic. It's a toy.
3 explosions, 50 yards away.
So, as we were doing the interviews, incoming rounds just landed in this area. So some of the rebels are now starting to flee.
Rebels cheer that they survived this assault by Gaddafi's army.
There have been several artillery rounds that have landed right in this area. We're using this piece of concrete to take a little cover and to see if the artillery rounds stop long enough for us to get out of the area.
Shockingly, the rebel we interviewed leaves cover to retrieve his plastic gun, but abandons it as we hear another explosion. We leave a few minutes later and find rebels regrouping at a safer distance. But without leadership or the close air support they desperately want from the West, the rebels are struggling. Back in Benghazi, the wounded are treated from the fighting around Ajdabia. Rebels say 5 people were killed today on the front line.
Rebels say despite the difficulties, they're going to go back to the front lines again tomorrow and try again. And Brian, as you know, this is a team effort, and I was joined on the front by cameraman John Koistra and producer Ghazi Belkis, who, as usual, did fantastic work.
And I know the three of you are veterans of this, but still, as we said, about as close as you want to get. Richard Engel and team from Benghazi tonight, thank you.